Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a great topic for today's show in which it is NYC schools reclosing due to increase of COVID-19 and people who refuse to listen. So let's get right into this topic. The largest district of schools throughout the nation is in NYC, New York City, and unfortunately, due to the increase of COVID-19 cases, uh, New York City schools had to close back down again and go back to virtual learning again on the computer. And this is also because of the fact that um, people refuse to listen. So, um, but let's get right into this really more in depth. Uh, COVID-19 cases have increased. And now, with regard to New York, the increase was like 2.8 or something like that. And there's been many people saying, well, that's not a tremendous amount. If you compare that to other states like Utah, who have like 20 somewhat percent cases now, and or even some states that may have like 30% or whatever of increase of COVID-19 cases. And, first of all, it's amazing that these states, because if you look at those states, first of all, those states, uh, they didn't want to listen. Think about it. Those are the same states that refused to listen the first time when people spoke to them, saying, wear the mask, social distancing, you know, etc. They refused to listen. And now look at the results. Okay. Now, um, is New York in the category of 26%, 30% of increased cases? No. We were, New York was at that high percentage, many months ago, like 8, 9 months ago. But because of uh, people doing the right thing, you know, to a certain amount, I mean, a certain amount of people did the right thing. There were uh, rules and regulations, suggestions, whatever you want to call it, set in place. And that's how uh, the amount of cases went down. Now, the reason why New York is getting so strict, again, with school closings and stuff, with an increase of like 2 point whatever, is because of the fact that we don't want to go back to seeing that high increase of 20%, 30% or whatever. We don't want to go back to that. We don't want to regress. Okay? We don't want the amount of deaths to go skyrocketing like it was in New York 8, 9 months ago. Okay? So, and I know a lot of people have cabin fever. They're tired of hearing about COVID-19. If we just listen, you know, with these things on the side of the head called ears, right? Those are used for listening. If people just listen, okay, social distance, wear the mask, oh, we wouldn't have to worry about all these increase of cases and deaths of COVID-19. You don't want to hear about it? Okay. do your part, do your part, and once this COVID-19 situation is under a better control nationwide, you won't have to hear about it anymore. And we can get back to a so called normality again. Think about it. Many people are saying that they're complaining that uh, the government officials of New York and New York City, were saying no more than 10 people in a home. Restaurants, bars, gyms have to close at 10 o'clock at night now. And they're complaining. Why? 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 Think about it. Let's just think about this for a minute. If you go back to, I don't know, I think it was in April or whatever, you had those Hasidic Jews who refused to listen, and there's still actually many people, unfortunately, still do this. I'm not saying it's just a Hasidic Jews, but you have people that are having parties in the house of like 200 people or whatever. And look what happens. COVID-19 cases and deaths jumping up because people refuse to listen. People are complaining, oh, well, I'm this nationality and I have to have 100 people around me all time, holidays. Really, honestly, come on. No, you don't. The limit for New York is no more than 10 people in your home. Think about it. It's being done for a good reason, not to be a dictator, not to be an asshole about things, but for health and safety precautions. And think about it this way. It's less bullshit that you have to put up with people. It's less screaming kids. It's less stress. It's less cleaning. It's less problems. Think about it. So, um, and just be grateful that the 10 people in your home, which has to include yourself too. So if you're a couple, right, living in your home, you can only have like 8 more people. It has to be a total, meaning no more than 10 people in your home. Seriously. Remember during the summertime, uh, jackasses were hanging outside on the street and but by the bars and the clubs and the packed streets and stuff like that. Nobody was social distancing. Nobody was wearing masks. And look what happened. Look at the result now. You want to go back to that? Do you want more deaths to happen? Do you want these increase of COVID-19 cases to increase? Now, um, that's why New York City mayor is uh, really suggesting that parents do all the paperwork, sign it, so that way their kids can be tested in the schools. Hopefully, maybe, being able to futuristically, maybe in next year or whatever, if a kid in a New York City public school has the COVID-19, they can get the vaccine, hopefully. You know, sign those papers. Stop walking around with your brain up your ass. And then you got, even like with the flu that's now going around because it's flu season now too, right? For many years in the past, many parents unfortunately said, "I don't want my child to get vaccinated for the flu because it's against my religion. Remember that? So is it against your religion for your child who may be sick to infect and possibly even kill other children, other innocent people? Is that against your religious beliefs? Now, I'm not against a person's religion, but what I'm against is stop hiding behind the Bible or scriptures or whatever the hell you want to call it. Stop hiding behind that for every effing little thing. Seriously, especially when it comes to safety, to health. Stop hiding behind all that. Get your kids vaccinated, for Christ's sake. And if you're really that much of a true religious believer, isn't staying healthy and looking out for the well-being of other innocent people, isn't that what religion is really also supposed to be about? So if you or your child are infecting other people because your dumbass doesn't want your child to have the vaccine, right? Then you know that's just absolutely wrong. And you're really not a religious person then. You're really not. Because religious people, true religious people, are supposed to be good and helpful and caring. So not vaccinating them and then hiding behind religious beliefs, that's not caring about people. That's not being helpful. That's not being loving. And then you get people who just refuse to listen. Like I'm sure we've all seen the videos on social media. All these jackasses that went around, like some of these Hasidics in New York City. They went around coughing on people, right, causing all sorts of problems, having 100 people or whatever, uh, uh, in one sort of enclosement. And then the authorities had to come. They had to break it up, and then the Hasidics complained about that. Did they give a rat's ass about innocent people who they may be infecting with a deadly disease? No, they didn't give a rat's ass about them. But then if authorities step in and they cry like a bunch of effing babies, go 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 ga 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 ga. Oh, we got in trouble for doing the wrong thing and we got caught. So we're gonna cry like a bunch of effing babies, you know. Or what about these other people, right? That did not social distance, okay, and these are the people that were part of the reason why COVID-19 cases and deaths have now increased. And I'm not going into political parties because it's not, I don't go into all that crap when we discuss about topics like this because it's not about politics. This is about the country, people, human beings. And then you have people who just don't want to listen, who refuse to listen, right? And they'll say, I'm not going to listen to your rules and regulations about wearing a mask. Guess what's going to come very, very, very soon? Okay? Probably during the next presidency, or at least hopefully, the next president can make a national law with the rest of Congress mandating people wearing masks. You're going to have to mandate it. Or if the rest of Congress doesn't want to um, do the right thing and go along with it, the next president can make an executive order mandating masks. It's part of national security, protecting this country. So he can do it. And for those that still refuse to obey that law, guess what? Like I've said this in prior episodes, time to get strict with people. Put those effing waste of life that will clearly never amount to anything in life, put them in a damn prison cell. Because basically, what they're what they truly are murderers, if you think about it, because of the fact that if they refuse to wear masks and social distance, right, they can in turn they can and their philosophy, their thinking is, I don't care if I infect other people or possibly infect other people. I don't care if I possibly kill other people by giving them or possibly giving them the disease. So basically, they're actually, if you think about it, murderers. Put their asses in a prison cell. Simple. That's it. You don't want to obey by the rules and regulations that are very simple. Just to wear a mask, just to wear a mask to cover the nose and the face. Right? Simple. That's not asking a lot. That's not asking much at all. So if they don't want to listen, put them in a prison cell. Done deal. Done deal. And don't make it for, oh, I'm going to give you 2 weeks in a prison cell. No, they didn't give a rat's ass about anybody else. Right? So don't care about them. Make it a good, strict sentence. Good, tough, strict. Show discipline. We got to do it. There's really no other choice. Now, hopefully, vaccines for the COVID-19 are coming out again. Hopefully next month, and hopefully the amount of COVID-19 cases and deaths will go down nationwide. Hopefully, because uh, if these vaccines do come out next month, it's not going to be given to everybody. Not everybody's going to be able to get it because it has to go in priority order because of uh, limited distribution of it. There's going to be limited supply of it. So it's got to go in priority order first. So hopefully that will start to bring down the amount of COVID-19 cases and deaths here in the United States. And then hopefully, hopefully, by maybe April of next year, the vaccines will be able to be given to everybody, all citizens of the United States. But until like maybe next month or whatever, people have to do their part too. Listen with your ears. Get your brain out of your ass. Social distance right now. Wear your mask. That's not much to ask for. So after I'm done hosting this episode of this show, Equality and Rights for All, I will host another episode of my show, Advocate Information Highway, on YouTube. And don't forget to go to my website, Advocate Information Highway. You guys could check out all the pages on there. I've added more jewelry to the store page of my website, so you guys can check that out. And so with that, oh, also before I forget, the link to my website is awldny.com. So again, you guys could check all the pages out on the website. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.